Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's and Mariana's Coffee.
Hafa Tirwami, and good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Chris Nelson. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The former president of the Philippines is on island and brings her history book. Also tonight, a famous soccer coach inspired Tan Holdings' apparel business. And the CNMI will head to the Supreme Court for answers in the criminal case against a former governor. And why do Okinawans live so long? Sweet potatoes are part of the answer. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
I love Mariana's Coffee from Join Me for a Cup. I think you would be really happy.
This burger looked at one slice of melted cheese and said, more cheese. It looked at pickles and said, also onions. It wanted to be more than hot. It wanted to be juicy. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese. If you thought one napkin for the Quarter Pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
The former president of the Philippines, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, is on Saipan. She arrived yesterday and spent the afternoon watching soccer down in Coblerville. She's the honorary chairwoman of Tuloy Football Club, started in the Philippines in an effort to help at-risk youth.
Our own children, who are considered sometimes as thrown away, broken souls, discarded, twisted, almost useless. But if you take care of them carefully, with love, with care, you will find a beautiful community of children.
Tuloy is playing this week along with teams from Hong Kong, Japan, and our own NMI women. Today, a lunch at Crown Plaza was held to thank the former president for coming. Although she's here for football, she jumped into a history lesson about some of the labor allegations that happened in the 90s.
Listen to one of these headlines. Filipinos report beatings, rapes, lockout. You can imagine the bad name that Saipan got with a series of articles in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, like that.
Governor Tenorio didn't like those headlines, and she says he acted quickly.
And in one of his bursts of anger, he said, I think I'm going to ban Filipino workers from coming here. So, of course, I was a new senator, 94. I was going to run for election the year after the election. And, of course, that was an important opportunity for me to show my concern for the welfare of overseas Filipinos. So I made a privileged speech in the Senate, and I wrote my old classmate, President Bill Clinton. And I said, they are going to ban Filipino workers in Saipan? I think we should ban the Filipino workers from going to Saipan. Let's listen to it, and let's see how Saipan's economy is going to survive without our Filipino workers.
She says in 1995, the Clinton administration began attempts at federalization, and while those took many years to develop, President Ramos at the time did ban at least some workers from coming to Saipan. The ban lasted about a year before Governor Tenorio visited the Philippines and asked the then senator to come over for a look.
So he said, come to Saipan and see for yourself. Meet the Filipino community there and ask them how they feel. Do they feel exploited or do they feel happy?
The former president says the fact-finding mission was an educational one.
So the long and the short of it is that the Filipinos that I met, the Kapampangas that I met said, we are very happy in Saipan. We are glad that the Philippine ban on workers coming here has been lifted, and we are happy with what we are earning and sending to our folks back home, and we are happy that we are appreciated by the Saipan government and the Northern Marianas government for our contribution to their economy.
Jerry and Raymond Tan of Tan Holdings were instrumental in bringing the former president to Saipan. The company employs about 20,000 people there. The former president is scheduled to depart tomorrow.
Thank you for your contribution to the community of Saipan, and thank you for your love and care for the Filipinos here in Saipan. And to you, the Philippine community here in Saipan, thank you for your love and care for this beautiful set of 3 islands and your continuing love and care for your folks back home. Dakal pong salamat kay Kayugan. Thank you so much for everything.
Today was about soccer, but soccer is also about business. Tan Holdings got started in the apparel business here in the Northern Mariana Islands. The company now operates in a number of different countries.
So of our business, we went to both China and the Philippines. I mean, because my father and my grandfather migrated to Philippines many years ago, so we know the country very well. And after that, we also went to Cambodia, and then we went to Myanmar. We were in Vietnam, and then we even went to India and Bangladesh. So we cover many countries as we exited Saipan. But I have to give Saipan a lot of appreciation because our family started our apparel business over here. Without Saipan, we would not have that business.
Raymond Tan is the twin brother of Jerry, and he says as Tan Holdings moved their apparel manufacturing into and throughout Asia, he looked towards football for inspiration.
And our business, international business knowledge was very weak. So when I went there, it was an adjustment, but I have to say that I learned my management through football. That's why I'm so passionate about football. You know, competition, the purest form of competition is war, which I don't like to study war. Then I look at the second purest competition is team sports. And I love to play soccer, therefore I pick a soccer team, Man United. So I picked the manager, Alex Ferguson. So I learned from his management style. Then I start to apply that into my business. So my passion for soccer is not just about me loving to play the game, but because soccer also helped me to learn management.
We will have more with Mr. Tan next week. The CNMI will appeal a ruling from a Guam judge who has barred the Attorney General's office and its Special Prosecutor James Kingman from proceeding in the criminal prosecution case against the former governor Ralph Torres.
Yes, by this point, I expected there to be a ruling that would disqualify at least me, if not the whole office.
Justice Pro Tem Arthur Barcinas issued the 16-page ruling this week after Torres and his attorneys argued last year that the Office of the Attorney General has a conflict in bringing the case against the former governor. Kingman was brought in as a special prosecutor to handle it.
Those need to be authorized, right? And particularly difficult about the CNMI is that there is only one prosecuting authority. And that prosecuting authority, the Office of the Attorney General, is also the advisor to the government and various executive agencies. Now, that's always been the case, and so there's a very distinct criminal and civil division. The offices are in different spots. It's not unique.
Governor was originally charged in April of 2022 with misconduct in public office, primarily related to purchases made for first-class airfare. The original charges also included one count of contempt for failure to appear at a legislative hearing after being subpoenaed. In the last 2 years, the case has not gone far. All of the local judges recused themselves. The matter was originally assigned to a Guam judge, Albert Tolentino, who then bowed out for health reasons, and then it was assigned to current Judge Arthur Barcenas, also from Guam.
You filed a criminal information. I think there's 12 misconducts in public office. If the AG's office is not able to prosecute this case, is there a federal path? Is there another path forward?
I don't know if there is a way for me to initiate any sort of federal path of proceeding. I do know that there should be more federal oversight into the judiciary and the government here.
What's the next step? Will you be appealing this to the Supreme Court? Is that what happens now?
Yes. There's not a ton of case law in the CNMI because it's a relatively new jurisdiction. However, because there is so much overlapping connections between people, there actually have been quite a bit of cases regarding removal of judges or regarding conflicts of interest with attorneys that have been brought up to the Supreme Court. So there's a mechanism to appeal a decision like this. And so we will be appealing to the Supreme Court.
This guy was driving way over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a lot over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a little over the speed limit. Look at the damage.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month, plus a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
Police say bones found near the Bonsai Cliff area will be examined off-island to try and determine more about them. An initial on-island review have led authorities to believe that they are less than 20 years old. Police also say they will begin to re-examine any missing person cases that have not been solved. Authorities could not say if the bones were of a full-sized adult or could be children. The Yamada sisters went missing in 2014. The girls came from Japan for a vacation, and they disappeared under very unusual circumstances. One sister was in her 20s, the other in her early 30s. The Luke sisters were from the Azteo area. Local girls, they went missing in 2011, and it brought a massive search effort that included the FBI. Joe Arthur was one of the agents that worked on the case.
Did it surprise you that this case wasn't solved?
A little bit, especially with two kids going missing at the same time. I mean, it was hard to imagine how that could happen, where individual children get abducted every day, unfortunately, in this country. But to see two go missing at the same time is pretty rare.
The girls were last seen at a bus stop early in the morning.
Among the theories was that they could have been abducted and then dumped off a cliff or something. And so in those instances, I'm not sure that it would be possible to locate a body. But it was pretty surprising that it's gone on this long without any resolution.
During the search, authorities brought in a lot of off-island help to comb the jungle and sea.
There was every local agency, DPS, Ports Police, Customs, federal agencies, the DEA, Homeland Security, FBI, a huge number of volunteers from the community with help from the Red Cross providing refreshments at for search parties. I mean, it was really a massive effort. The whole community came out. Everybody was so shook up over this and wanted to do anything that they could to help. It was really, in that respect, it was heartwarming to see so many people who cared and may not have even known these kids, but nevertheless wanted to do what they could to help.
Arthur says they actually did find some bones during their search, just not the ones they were looking for.
This case is it's now 13 years old, and I don't know. Sadly, I don't hold out high hopes that it'll get solved just because of the passage of time and the lack of a body. But an unusual anecdote about that whole case is during the searches of the island, we found two bodies, one probably dating back to World War II, and the other body was a fellow that went, he was a homeless guy, probably the only homeless person on all of Saipan. And he had sat against a tree in the heat someday in the weeks just during the course of these searches and died somehow.
Police have not said how long it will take to get some answers to the bone questions. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News. More tonight from Okinawa, currently one of the biggest vacation spots for Japanese travelers. About 8.5 million people per year visit the southern island to head to the beaches, golf courses, hiking trails, and coastal life. Okinawa weather similar to here in the Mariana Islands, at least for most of the year, a little bit cooler in the winter time. Under the water, visibility quite good with nice coral, sharks, and turtles. The Karama Islands is just off the coast and is designated as a national park. Visibility is pretty good above water too, especially at the Okinawa Churaumi Aquarium, which has a collection of whale sharks, dolphins, turtles, rays, and sharks for people who don't particularly want to get wet. About 3.5 million people per year visit this aquarium. Okinawa is about 4 times the size of Guam, 20 times the size of Saipan. After World War II, Okinawa was under control of the U.S. until 1972. Currently has about 1.3 million people, most of them living in the city of Naha. Currently, about 80,000 U.S. citizens live there. One of them is Gardner Robinson, who used to live here in Saipan. Okinawans live some of the longest lives on the planet. They consume fewer calories than most people, following a rule of hara hachibu, which means not eating until you're full, eating until you are 80% full. Less calories means less free radicals during digestion, which means less cancers, less heart disease. But it's not only less calories that lead to that long lifespan, it's also a plant and fish-based diet and community.
Up north in Yambato, there's 3 or 4 villages, Ogimi and Kunigami and Higashi. And then they're broken up to like these 40-something communities called Moai, and they support each other, emotionally, financially, whether it's related to food or getting things done, or old people need help with things and things like that.
Blue zones around the world include Sardinia, Italy, Icaria, Greece, and the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. The Okinawan diet includes a lot of fresh vegetables and soy. Purple and orange sweet potatoes provide the bulk of their calories. 1 in every 1,400 people in Okinawa is a centenarian, over 100 years of age.
They talk a lot about the spiritual connection, both to the community and to nature. They talk about the diet, of course, because they're growing a lot of their own food, and just keeping active and doing that sort of things. They do, they talk about they still do a lot of traditional, whether it's rope making or textiles, or sort of having that what they call ikigai, which is like it's kind of got to be a bit of a trendy term, but about sort of that meaning for life. So they're not sitting around in their lazy boys watching TV.
Tourism's a big part of Okinawa's economy, and post-COVID, it has made quite a comeback.
I think with COVID and during that sort of 3-year hiatus, we weren't doing a lot of destination promotion, but there was a lot of like product planning and different things, different areas. And I think that it was a time for sort of reflection on a lot of that.
But Robinson also says it's not just about overall numbers.
I think what a lot of the people in the travel industry have realized, and travelers too, is that, it's really more about the quality of the experience rather than let's get, tens of millions of visitors in every year, which of course is the goal of any tourism organization. But now it's like, a quality experience. People coming back a second and a third time because they had such a great experience.
Reporting from Okinawa, Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News. Location, location, location. Office space on Capitol Hill available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park. With natural light and ocean views, it's the perfect place for creative professionals. So upgrade your life and your working environment. Schedule an exclusive showing now. Call us at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass, and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week. Weather forecast for the weekend tonight, looking at mostly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. East to southeast winds, 15 to 20 miles per hour, lows near 79. Chance of showers at 30%. On Saturday, it's going to be partly sunny with scattered showers. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, highs around 87. Chance of showers at 30%. Saturday night, chance of showers at 20%. Winds coming out of the east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then on Sunday, partly sunny, 30% chance of showers, slight chance of thunderstorms, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, and highs near 87.